everyone. So today is your Unit 5 test review. We're going to go through questions that are very similar to those that you will see on your test, so make sure you have paper and pencil and a calculator, your notes, and that you are writing through these and pausing along the way to ask questions, to think about things. And here we go. So this first one, which questions are statistical? So remember, statistical questions are questions that every individual person would have a unique answer. So let's take a look. What is the price of that book? Well, there's only one answer to that question, so that is not statistical. How long do centipedes grow? Again, not statistical because there is a single answer to that question. Was there a parade in Center City yesterday? Again, there is one answer to that question, yes or no. What is the distance from the library to the coffee shop? So, again, there's only one answer to that question. I mean, obviously, maybe it's a different library or a different coffee shop, but if we're all talking about the same one, there's only one answer to that. How many points did the football team score in each game last season? So since it says each game, that means each game would have a unique answer, so we could select this one. Now, some of these could be questionable now that I'm thinking about it. If we go back to this one could be a statistical question because if we're just asking, like, in general, how long do centipedes typically grow, that's not a statistical question. But if we have a bunch of centipedes and we're trying to figure out how long they typically grow, then it could be because we could measure a bunch of centipedes and gather that data. So I'm actually going to change my mind and go ahead and collect that one as a statistical question as well. All right, this one says create a line plot that displays this data. So we look at our data. The first thing we should always do is check that it is least to greatest, which, taking a look here, it appears to be. Now on your test, the number line will already be given to you like it is down below. So all you have to do is put the dots on. Okay? So we have 167, so I'm going to put one dot. We have 2 68s. We have 171. We have 3 73s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 74s. We have 1, 2 75s, 177, 178, 2 79s, and 2 80s. Okay, so pause this video, look at that, ask questions. If you have any, please make sure you talk about it with your guest teacher. All right, here we have a dot plot and it says how many total centimeters of rain fell. So our dot plot shows the amount in centimeters of rainfall we would assume like on certain days. So we need to add up all these values. So I'm going to write those out here. We have 1. We have 2 2s. We have 2 2.5s. We have 4 3s. We have 1 3.5. And we have 2 4s. Okay, now obviously you can condense this by writing some multiplication, but I just wanted you to visually see everything that we're adding together. So I'm going to group some of these things to make it easier. So 2 plus 2 I know is 4. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, that's like 3 times 4 is 12. 4 and 4 is 8. And then 2.5 and 2.5, you can think about this as 2 and 2 together make 4, and then a half plus a half makes 1, so 4 plus 1 is 5. And some of you may already know that anyway. So now it should be a little easier to add. We have 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 12 plus this 3.5 that's still in there plus 8. So you're welcome to use a calculator on this one, or you can just do it by hand or mental math. But I'm going to go ahead and do some mental math here. So 1 and 4 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 12 is 22. 22 plus the 8 is 30, and then plus 3.5. I'm getting 33.5 centimeters of total rainfall. Now check my math on that. I could have made a mistake. It's always possible. So if I did, you'll have to let me know when you see me again. On this one, it says draw a histogram to represent the data. So we have weights of dogs here. So remember, in histograms, we have intervals, and so these numbers will fall within the intervals, okay? Now, this is what it will look like on your test. The histogram will be set up for you, and you just need to draw the bars into the correct places. So let's start by looking at our first interval down here, which is 20 to 29. So let's count how many numbers are in the 20s. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So I'm going to make this bar go up to 6. Okay. Now let's do 30s. I see 1, 2, 2. Okay, I want you to pause the video, take a moment, and do the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay. Unpause. So 40s here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go up to 4 here for the 40s. 50s, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 60s, I have 1, 2. Okay, there we go. The chart shows the weight of pumpkins to the nearest tenth of a pound at Oberman's pumpkin patch. How many pumpkins weigh 4.8 pounds or more? So I'm going to pause for a moment. You go ahead and pause the video. I want you to take a look at this histogram and see what you think about the numbers of pumpkins that weigh more than 4.8 pounds. Okay, so if we find 4.8 on our interval scale down here, if we're looking for 4.8 or more, we're looking at these two bars. So this bar looks like it's 24, and this bar looks like it's 20. So 24 plus 20 is 44. And this includes the 4.8 because this bar, the one with the 24 in it, goes from 4.8 to just under 7.2. So the 4.8 is included on that one. So 44 pumpkins. Okay, people at a family reunion recorded in a stem and leaf plot the year they were born. So here's our stem and leaf plot. Shows us how to read it. The stems are over on the left, which look like that goes to the hundredths place, and the leaves are the ones place. So how many people in the group were born before 1970? So if we find 1970 here, everyone before is going to be in this group. So how many people is that? Go ahead and pause the video. All right, it looks like 3 people, right? There's a 1940, a 1965, and a 1969. So 3 people were born before 1970. What is the 5-number summary of this data? So we need our minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. So let's look. First of all, we check that it's from least to greatest. It looks like it is, so we're good to go. It's always easy to label the min and max. So our min is going to be 14. Our max is 30. That's just our lowest number and our highest number. So now let's find the median. So again, we find the middle. And I'm just going to check off until we get to the middle number. Now there's actually two numbers in the middle, but they're both 20. So technically what we need to do is add our two 20s together and divide by 2. Well, when we add two 20s together, we get 40. And 40 divided by 2 is just 20 again, because there's nothing between 20 and 20. They're the same number. So our median is actually right here as 20, and that's our median. So then when we go to find the first quartile and third quartile, we're going to actually have a middle line right here. So we're going to include this 20 when we're counting. So first quartile is the middle of the bottom half. That's what we talked about yesterday with all this stuff. So here, till we find the center, which is 16. So that's your first quartile. Third quartile is in the upper half, so mark them off. And we get third quartile. And so that's our 5-number summary. Now, on your test, everyone, I want you to make sure that you are writing this data down and actually doing it by hand. If you try to just do it on your screen, you're more than likely going to make a mistake along the way because it's just not easy to keep track of data on a screen. It's much easier to do with paper so that you can physically mark it off like this and make sure you're getting the right number. What are the first and third quartiles of this data? So the first and third quartiles, remember, are the ends of the boxes. So go ahead and pause the video. See what you think they are. Okay, so the ends of the boxes are here and here. So our first quartile looks like it's at 14. So this is Q1, quartile 1. And this one between 26 and 28 would be 27. So that would be the third quartile. Okay, and that concludes our review for your test tomorrow. These questions are very similar to the ones you will see on your test. You will have a question about statistical questions, and then you will have several questions about each of the data displays: line plots, histograms, stem and leaf plots, and box plots. So go ahead and go back to the Engagely screen, talk with your guest teacher, ask questions if you have them, and go over your reminders.